Well, Isitan, welcome in our show. Nice to have you and for answering us some questions. At first, last weekend we had a nice win on VVV, and that meant that we reached the 34 points we need to stay in. So we can look back to what happened this season. Can you give us one of your favorite moments from this season?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I mean, there are still 88 matches to go, but it's already been a great season. I think we have many memorable moments. I cannot easily single out one moment, but I think especially what the team achieved after, I believe, mid-November has been great. Of course, now that we reached 34 points, it's a relief to many people, but I have to say, for the last 5-6 weeks, I was telling everyone not to look down anymore, but maybe to look up. And I never doubted that we were going to be in a comfortable position by now. So yeah, I think it's been a great ride so far. I hope it continues.
Okay, I think most fans agree with you. But no special game, or maybe a special player that you enjoyed?
Well, I mean, I cannot. It should not be. Maybe it's not too proper to single out some players, but I really like a few players. Turpan, for example, is an unbelievable player, I think. We hope we can have him again with us in the coming seasons. He's extremely happy to be at Fortuna, doing great, real fighter. I think, like, in the defensive line, Martin Anga had a great season. Rule, of course, a very important part of the team, has been great. George is doing fantastic. If you look at his statistics for the left back position, he's been, I think, one of the best in Eredivisie this season. In the midfield, of course, Ben has been instrumental, I think, for the team. So is Teki. Mats, after a bumpy start, let's say, he's been doing great in the last games. Of course, we have what they call a beast in the front, Polti. His presence is very important. Lisandro, I think this season, especially after the, let's say, first 10 weeks, he's been really improving. You can feel he's very happy and satisfied and doing great. So overall, I think I cannot name any players. Of course, I have to say Yannick also has been unbelievably good. So I really enjoy watching this team.
That's what about happened on the pitch. But running a football club is also a lot of more than those 19 minutes on the pitch. We also made a few achievements outside the football field. What is the thing that makes you most proud about that?
Well, I think when we spoke maybe a year ago or even earlier, and someone asked me what does Fortuna need, and I said we need time. We need time to establish ourselves as a stable Eredivisie team, and now it's almost certain that we will be in Eredivisie for 4 years in a row. So that's a great accomplishment. When things are going well on the pitch, the outside the pitch is easier to manage. And I think by now the organization is really fantastic. It's everyone is very dedicated to the club. I'm really proud of the organization. But if you look at from a general perspective, I think the most important thing is when things were not going as planned in the initial phase of the season, what I saw was nobody panicked. That's quite important because obviously everyone in their mind were afraid of a relegation scenario. But the organization, the team, the technical staff, everybody was very mature, and there was no sense of panic whatsoever. Before we started the season, I even made a poll among all the employees, and we asked everyone what were their prediction for points, ranking, and the goal difference. So I will publish that after the season is over, because that also shows how realistic the people inside the club are. I think most people will be very, very close to the actual ending scenario. So it gives me a lot of comfort for the future. Yeah, okay. I can easily say that.
We would like to see them as well. Those predictions. If
yes, without the names, I will share it.
Okay, thank you very well. Another thing is the stadium. There were some plans for the finalization of the stadium. There were some ideas at this moment. Well, we have the corona, of course, but we would like to know how it is about those plans.
Yes, I think of course Evo is more knowledge about this, but I am also following. I mean, the only regret this season I have is that we couldn't have our fans in the stadium, because with this performance I think we would have a full house almost every match, and yeah, it would be nice to share that happiness, let's say. Well, regarding the stadium, I mean the surrounding area around the stadium, we have nice plans, good ideas, some more advanced, some more, let's say, premature. But as you know, the stadium outside the stadium does not belong to us. It's a different party. Recently, we also had a meeting with them. Unfortunately, this is, if I can complain about a few things, this is one of the things that continue to present a challenge for the club. I mean, when I look at other clubs and how the surrounding companies and let's say the community around the stadium and the club, how they support and how they realize the value of the club to their communities and cities, I think we still need to improve those relations.
Okay, then there's the other thing that's running for some time. It's Acun.
Yeah.
There is an agreement, there's KNVB, but can you inform us about the status at this moment?
Sure, we filed the application at the end of September, the initial documentation. It's quite extensive. There were some missing documents which we, I think, almost fully supplied by a few weeks ago. So right now it's on their, the ball is on their court, let's say. But from what I observe and see, it looks positive. Of course, I cannot say anything about definitive decision. Whatever they decide, we will comply, of course. But yeah, regardless of the outcome, the club is doing well, and so I'm not concerned if that happens. Of course, it's maybe will allow us to take an additional step quicker. But other than that, even if you know, all scenarios are fine. I think the club is doing well. The process went well. I think we submitted a really good file, and my expectation is positive. Just I want to not overstep to their shoes and speak for them. That's at the end, it's an independent body, but I'm positive.
Okay, thank you. Then we have a question about your personal and professional goals for the upcoming season.
Well, I think this season we demonstrated quite well that with a good squad, because if you look at our recruitment strategy, one of the main changes was that we have much less loan players. We have, I think, only one loan player at the moment. So that was a main shift. And, once we have our this quality on the pitch, I think that we should be expecting a similar performance in the coming year and coming years. So slowly we need to grow, and at the end of the day, the growth depends, of course, on the resources you have at your disposal. Obviously, supporters are fantastic. Just on the business side, I think if we can reach to more businesses and increase our commercial revenues, sponsorships, business seats, etc., we can only do better.
Okay, and then something completely different. We saw something in our regional newspaper and also on the socials that you will be involved in Galatasaray in a short time. But those are rumors. Can you tell us something about those rumors?
Sure. No, it's not a rumor. It's true. Of course, it's my club. I'm a member of Galatasaray. But when you hear the name Galatasaray, you probably think about the football team. But in reality, it's as in Spain, Greece, parts of Italy, Portugal, let's say the south of Europe, the clubs have not only one sportive branch. We have I believe 12 branches at Galatasaray. They include basketball, volleyball, of course, men and women, their youth academies for each of these branches. Mm-hmm. Actually, the club operates all these what we call amateur branches that are outside football. So football is a separate company with a separate management, and it's also a public company traded on the stock exchange. So and the club is how do you call it? Stichting structure, and every 3 years there's a general election, and the members elect the board. There are significant, let's say, administrative, strategical, and financial challenges that the club, the Stichting, is facing. So one of the running candidates approached me to help, basically, but it's not an executive role. It's not a full-time role. It's like a board membership that I hope I can contribute to, let's say, reform the club on those areas. So that's about it.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, those were the questions we had for you at this moment. I'd like to thank you for your time and your open.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it.
So open. If you have maybe a short message for the fans.
Short message for the fans. I have to say, I miss being with the fans in the games. But this difficult period will pass. I believe in it, and hopefully we will enjoy our victories together soon. And what I ask, if the COVID situation permitting, I'm just asking for all our fans, as they always do, to really support. I think this team, I hope we can continue this performance, but it really deserves a full house every single game. So I hope we can see this in the coming season.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's hope, in short, we can go to the stadium again.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.